Going right into the second game now, Manchester City and Blackburn Rovers, and this game was a bit one-sided, if you would, that's to say the least. Manchester City really coming out of this one, taking it 4-0 on the night, and it was a stubborn Blackburn Rovers though in the first half. City was held goalless in the first half. A lot of good chances though from Balotelli, nonetheless. Silva, Kolarov, all getting in on the action, and you know Mario Balotelli, the clown, I guess, of the Manchester side, falling out of favor with the Aguero coming in, and but getting the start here, and he looked incredible. Really, he looked sensational. Had a great opening opportunity. The ball's played in from Kolarov over to Silva. Silva gave it to him. Had about a yard of space maybe, and got the shot off. Nice curling shot, and just couldn't quite find the back of the net, and it's missed by a couple of inches. And it's funny because you look at Carlos Tevez and his since weird fiasco and refusal to play, and his egotistical persona, and then you have Mario Balotelli with his strange egotistical persona himself, and they're sort of both like children, both pouting when they don't get the chances or when they don't get to go play with their friends, but more so Tevez now refusing to really go out and play, but yeah, Balotelli, and I mean, City looked great in the first half. Couldn't quite find the breakthrough, and Balotelli looked pretty good. Big story though with City was Sergio Aguero, their top goal scorer, limped off with an injury. Now, Sky Sports News says it's not that serious. It was a slight hamstring tear, so we're not entirely sure the extent of that injury, but that's a huge blow to City. He's got 8 goals on the year, and I mean, he's just been absolutely amazing for City. I'm sorry, it was a groin injury that he sustained in the first 8 minutes of the game, and Samir Nasri comes on, another huge signing for Manchester City, and we can get into City's ludicrous spending and the whole circus that is going on in Manchester City on the other side of United. But yeah, how is this injury going to affect City's performance if it is serious? The answer to that is I don't really think it's going to affect them too badly. I mean, yeah, Aguero has huge amounts of chances and he's been playing scintillating form. But if you look at their squad, I mean, you got Dzeko, you have Balotelli, you have Nasri, you have Silva, you have Kolarov. I mean, you have plentiful options. I mean, Yaya Toure. I mean, Kolo Toure just came back from suspension, and it's just like, what else do you possibly need? Yeah, you're gonna miss Aguero, but I mean, you don't really need that many other guys, and I mean, it's not gonna really hurt them, in my opinion, too much. But yeah, it's just it's unsettling for Manchester City fans to see him go out with an injury like that. But it's not like City were missing him too much. Second half, right after the whistle started, I think 4 minutes after 50th or 51st minute, City starts pouring it on, and Adam Johnson with a absolutely amazing shot. Ball comes in through a corner, it's cleared out, and it falls to Adam Johnson, and he just literally takes it on his own. And what the hell? I mean, that was just an amazing strike. This guy's pure class. Great goal right there. And lo and behold, 3 minutes later, Super Mario makes its second goal. Ball is whipped into the box, just sticks out of the leg and makes it 2. And then Nasri and Silva in the center of the mid just destroyed Blackburn Rovers. Rovers didn't know what the heck they were doing, and Silva just getting shots in, creating those beautiful passes, diagonal runs and diagonal passes through to cut through to the center of the defense. And the Nasri goal, all of the Blackburn players looked like they were tired and looked like they had given up. I mean, Nasri had at least Silva made the initial run, and he just swerved it back and gave it to Nasri, and it just they had so much space. None of the four Blackburn players looked like they were on the line in the box, and they didn't make any effort to go and close down Nasri. And of course, Nasri's not going to make a mistake from there, and he just coolly tucks it away into the back of the net. But you have to come in saying, well, what the heck? Steve King, Blackburn's manager, looks looks to be under a huge amounts of pressure, and they had hardly any chances. Joe Hart was not tested for City's keeper. He could have pitched a tent and made a campfire back there. I think he had like one decent save, and that was it. Yeah, it's Nasri and Silva just making absolute mockery of Blackburn's defense, and so now and so they looked great. City looked fantastic. Balotelli in, Tevez out. Is this a good thing for City? Well, I think it's a lesser of two evils, really. Out goes one clown and comes another. But in this game, Balotelli looked like he was showing maturity. He showed a lot of poise usually when the ball goes out of play or somebody doesn't make an effort for his pass. He's got his hands on his hips, screaming. Hands up in arms. This time he showed a lot of poise. He didn't really act like a child, and he played extremely well for Manchester City. 2 goals, I think, for him, and he looked really good on the offensive side. A lot of pace, a lot of intensity, and a lot of things that fill the gap for Tevez. And speaking of Tevez, that egotistical, money-hungry bastard, I guess, if you want to call him. That's what I call him, but yeah, he should never play for Manchester City again. And Mancini is right in saying as long as he's under City's care, then City and Tevez won't ever play again. And I don't think he should. I mean, he's just child. I mean, come in, refuse to play during that Champions League game, and it's just ridiculous the way he acts and why he does that. I'm not sure, but he can take his empanados and his chili con rellenos and go back to Argentina or go back to whoever's going to sign him. I mean, he's got so much money though too coming in a week. It's like 500,000. I heard like something like 500,000 pounds of wages per week. I mean, come on. If you're not playing for that amount of money, then there's something wrong with you. I mean, there's something wrong with you. So, yeah, I mean, I think it's a good thing for City, for Tevez to leave. He's just holding them back. And he's just really kind of poison for that team. Whether Balotelli is a better replacement for him, that's yet to be determined. But right now, I mean, they don't need Tevez. They don't need that type of player on their team. And I mean, I think as soon as Aguero comes back, they should be fine. I mean, they have so much depth and they have so much money at their disposal that it shouldn't affect them too much. But yeah, Blackburn, going back to them, looked completely awful. Now you were playing against Manchester City, who are real title contenders this season, but you shouldn't have that too much of a problem. I mean, just lack of play, really. And you can the stats say it all. I mean, 17 goals conceded throughout 5 weeks or 5 games already for the Blackburn defense, and Steve King is in a lot of pressure and a lot of things to be worked out. And the fans are all calling him to get sacked and everything, but he's just Blackburn's in a bit of a relegation battle throughout the whole season, and So yeah, City showing a lot of grit and a lot of poise and just their flair taking over, and Balotelli really just coming along and getting that clown Tevez out of there. Yeah. So I think that's just gonna about wrap it up for this first post. One thing to note: Chelsea did have a tremendous game against Bolton, winning 5-1. Lampard coming on with a hat trick. AVB benches him midweek, so good to see him have a hat trick there, and Sturridge coming back with 2 goals there. Other than that, not really too many notable mentions in the Premier League action. United still sits at the top of the table in first place with goal differential. City behind him, then Chelsea, and then surprisingly Newcastle. But other than that, that's gonna wrap it up. Both these games were pretty exciting things to watch. Stay tuned. I'm gonna have a bunch of new podcasts coming up in the near future. Probably on Friday. It's going to be the next release date. So stay tuned for that. I'm going to preview some of the Premier League action and maybe recap some transfer rumors and give you the breakdown on some of the Euro 2012 qualifiers. It's been a good first post, and look forward for many to come.